Hello, hello, hello. Karen Creighton here, and this is lovely Stephanie, and we're here to chat about, well, questions, isn't it? About the quantum, the genius, and everything else that goes along with it. So, okay, Stephanie. Steph, you've been asked loads of questions of late.
Yeah,
So
it's been really exciting. And I love people when they come in and do the 14-day free trial with us, which I recommend everybody does, because you're exploring and there's no end in sight to the depths of how far you can go in the 14 days. You are your own limit. And it's really exciting to see people get teeth into it and really tear it apart and trying out all these different things and coming up with all these questions. So I'm in for an easy life, guys, and I believe that making a quick video about the questions, the most common questions, frequently asked questions, is the best way to go. So a question that's been coming up quite a few times, Karen, with different people trialing, has been about the meridians. So I said, okay, I know the right person, the most intelligent person I know about anything to do with meridians, to ask these questions of. Let's get Karen onto some videos. So Karen, the question I have for you today is, what are meridians? Okay, multiple questions, sorry, under one sentence. What are the meridians? How do they affect us? And how do we treat them on the quantum biofeedback?
Awesome. Okay, that's not a big question at all, is it? Right, I'm going to share my screen. So here's the genius and how you'd see it. And so what I'm just going to do is it big enough there, Steph? Can you see it?
It's huge on my screen. It's a little bit out of focus, but it could actually be my eyes because I've been looking at screens for so many hours.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Right. Okay. So as you know, if you've been looking at the Genius, is we have three headings. We have body, we have biofield, and we have mind. And if you've already purchased, then you've got libraries as well. So the biofield, meridians, this is what we're going to talk about now. Now, what is a meridian? Okay, it's quite a complex subject, but let's make it really simple. So if we look at energy lines, so we have energy lines throughout the planet, we have energy lines throughout the cosmos, but we also have energy lines throughout our body. And those energy lines go in really interesting places for various different parts of our body. So as an example, on this screen, you've got spleen meridian. And what you do is you just click on there and it shows you exactly where that meridian goes. So that one goes from the throat and it goes over to the shoulder, down into sort of like the right-hand side of the body, and it goes down, down, down into your little toe. So if any part of that meridian is blocked, you can have a symptom. And it seems like it's totally unrelated to spleen, for example. So the spleen is really vital for our immune system, making white blood cells, etc., etc. But you could have a really, really sore small toe. How would you equate that to your immune system unless you know? And so this is what I'd encourage everyone who's using the Genius Biofeedback is get to know your meridians. This is the fun part about it. We can go on here, for example, and this one is showing up as your highs. So as we know, if you have high reading, then it's a potential acute. So SP7 on this one is down in the calf. So it's just here. And so consequently, I could have, this is me, by the way, I could have a slight blockage there. And so what I can do there is just treat it. I can just drag that up into the quick zap tray if I felt that. And then there's SP12, which again is going up into the torso. It's actually on the right-hand side, it's sort of in the pelvis. And then there's SP8, which again is in the calf. So consequently, I could get cramp. You know, I don't, but I could get cramp. And so that could be a root cause of what's happening. So this is all about energy blockages. And so when there's a block, there's potential for dis-ease. Now, if it's long-term, then you're more likely to get symptoms. But if it's just a short, fleeting one, then you can treat it and let it go. So if we look at the lower numbers, which is more chronic, so that one is SP33. The SP33 is, I'm just trying to bring it up for you, make it bigger. Goes into the neck, so it goes up into here, SP33. So consequently, I could be brewing an infection too, which could be affecting my throat. So consequently, I'm going to pop that in there. And then I can do a quick zap just on that. But if you can look at these as, just like all of this in the Genius, is if we look at it as prevention, is so much easier than cure. So what it's picking up is what's potentially could be affecting us. And so every meridian, so look at conception vessel, that goes right from the pubic area all the way up here and into the throat. Again, it could be that there's something else going on, but all you need to do is just treat it. And that treatment will help unblock it. Now, it can be very quick, or it can take, if it's been there a while, it can take a while to entrain your energy, bring your energy into a habit of letting this stuff go. Excuse me, my dogs have decided to play. So if you can hear them barking, they're playing in the game. So does that make sense, Stephanie?
It does. And why quick zap? Why not main hold?
Well, that's just for a quick treatment. So the reason I've sort of just decided on that one is because that's one way of treating. Now, if you want to dive a bit deeper and see if the CV17, for example, which is on here, is a root cause of something. So basically, you're doing a real treatment where you're just trying to dive in and find out what priorities are. Then you can take that down into the main hold tray. And I mean, I've been known to put 150 to 200 items into the main hold tray. I know many people who are trainers and that say you should only really have up to 80. I don't see any reason why. Because what we're looking for with the main hold trays, we're looking for priorities.
Okay.
And so you can do a broad spectrum. So for this one, for example, I'll go into these, the highs and the lows. And we can just do a meridian check if we wanted to. So for example, let's try doing this, Steph. I'll go back to the spleen. And then we can do, right, what is the priorities of the meridians, for example? It's just a way of really finding out about meridians, for example. So those two are my main priorities because they're above 600.
Sure.
And then the ones below, so stomach meridian. So I'm just going to put those in there. And as I say, if you've got more meridians that are coming up for you, you can put as many in as you like. And I would say also is don't get too hung up on things with it, because it's very exciting. Excuse me, I'm looking at the screen down here. Is the thing is what I've noticed of late is we get a bit hung up on the results.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't need to, because
keep the play going. Just keep the play going, because it rises the energy. Yeah.
And so that's what. Let's go pericardium. So.
Now, also, just so in case people aren't aware of this, actually treating your meridians this way is like having acupuncture without needles.
Absolutely is, and isn't that fun? You don't have to go
so
and have
fun.
Especially if you've got a needle phobe, then it's such a good way of doing it. You know, there's other ways of doing it, but this is really good. Okay, so this is the priorities with my meridians. So I've got 38 items in there. So basically, what this is it's 38 points on my body that have come up as needing a bit of a jig, and that's how I look at it. It's basically needing a little bit of clearing. And so let's find out what the priorities are. So then you click on the little arrow here on the main hold tray, and we go into progressive insights, and then you begin analysis. Okay, and so what's come up is pericardium 2 as being the most, the highest. And so what I'm going to do is, I always do this. I always go into functional zones consideration. So basically you click on the left-hand side, the top priority, or anything intuitively you think you want to go deeper in, and then go functional zone consideration. Now what this does is it starts the treatment process. This is sending very powerful homeopathic frequencies to your body, and it's actually opening everything up. And so this is also, so microorganism zone. So I'm just going to drag that in there. Interference zone. These are powerful, powerful remedies, and they're basically adding to my remedies that are in the progressive insights.
So can we just ask you to explain what functional zone actually is?
It's quite a complicated bit, but basically it's showing us the layers. So this is your layers. A microorganism zone is where you could be affected by a microorganism, so like a virus, a bacteria, and that sort of thing. Interference zone is where you could be being affected by something outside of yourself. And tissue regulation zone, it sort of goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
Love it. That's exciting.
And so what I tend to do with this one is I tend to hit the top one, and that takes us deeper.
So in this case, you just clicked on the microorganism zone because we didn't see that move. Wow, look at that.
And so it's gone to virus stress evaluation, and I take that and drag that down, and bacteria stress evaluation, and so drag that down. So potentialities with these, again, really, really powerful, powerful remedies to enhance. So I've had a treatment of that already. So I've just been treated on that.
So also just letting people know that for you personally, you left your safe haven of your very cleansed and clear and energy charged home yesterday, did a trip out of your protection
into
zone.
Cities, yes.
Yeah, yes. And you moved into amongst people you didn't know who they were, what their history was, and you've done a lot of intermingling with society over the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because usually you're quite clear.
Absolutely.
And you come home and you're carrying this. Now, I just want to pinpoint here something as well for people. We're working in quantum field of timing here. So Karen may look like a box of birds right now, but in her field, in her biofield, there's all this challenge going on.
Yeah.
And it's resonating because it's frequency. So it's resonating with her being. And this is what you're seeing as a result of this on her iPad here in front of us.
Yeah.
I would, in a nutshell, say this is a result of your interactions with the world in the last 48 hours.
Oh, I 100% agree. And we're always being affected by our outside world, whether we perceive it as negatively or positively, we're being affected. And so consequently, this is where this tool is so useful, because it can help keep us in balance. And what I always say to clients, if you find that your spleen meridian is always coming up, then start looking deeper. And I'll show you how to do that in one sec. So let's go back to, so you just click on this left arrow here. Let's go back to Progressive Insights, and there we are again. And what's happened is that this treatment that I've just been through is going to change the results. And so you begin analysis. And as you can see, that treatment, that little quick treatment, increased my rectification by 40%.
Wow.
But it's also changed the results. So immune zone. So you're absolutely right, Steph. My immune system is under attack. And so what I tend to do here is I don't get too hung up on it.
Yeah.
So I just click on the highs, and then I just scan through to see if there's anything that resonates. So I'm going to do virus stress evaluation, because I think that's a really good one to do, because and bacteria stress evaluation, because obviously I've been affected by something. And then I'll do a treatment. And so your treatment button up here, of course, just going to do a very quick one while we're talking, Steph. and play, because I might as well get the benefit of the results that we're doing right here, right now.
Yeah,
And-
beautiful. I love it. But I've been doing the same as you've been talking. I've been treating myself aside, just sitting here, had the old cheek while we chatted.
So can you hear the noise?
Yeah,
Oh, good. Because sometimes when we do this screen share, it doesn't come up, does it?
yeah,
So-
it doesn't sometimes.
Mm.
That's exciting. It's exciting. So just to reiterate, guys, as well, when something's appearing in our aura, it takes, I can't remember the time zone because I don't really go by time zones now. I'm trying to get out of the 24-hour clock.
Mm.
But it starts on the outside of our aura and it works through the layers of time, as we describe it in our linear mind, before it becomes a physical being of us.
Yeah.
So the machine is picking up, our biofeedback machine is picking up what's going on in our zone. And if
Yeah.
we can alleviate it there, destroy it there before it becomes part of us, Karen won't actually experience this bacteria attack. She won't actually experience physically this immune suppression because it's been dealt with before it becomes a physical thing.
Absolutely. Really
Ah,
good.
love it. That's
Awesome.
exciting.
Yeah.
But it also reiterates to me just how critically important a biofeedback machine is actually becoming on a day-to-day basis now.
Absolutely. And aren't we blessed to be able to have it?
Absolutely. So excited.
Okay, so what I would suggest to anyone who uses this wonderful, wonderful technology is to learn a bit more about the meridians, because they're so valuable.
Mm.
And I think, you know, if you can just click on a meridian a day, say, for example, kidney, and you can see how complex this is.
And there's
so,
plenty of websites that will give you more breakdowns of the meridians as well.
yeah, absolutely. And we did a course a while ago on, we've got some quantum meridian essences.
Yeah.
And I think we've got the library available for the essences for that too, haven't we, Stephanie? I think on our website.
We have for the trained meridian essence people, yeah.
So you can access our information. So that would be quite cool. But you have to pay for it, of course, because we put a lot of work in. And also
It's part of the library, yeah.
Yeah. And as people who have done the actual course, they know they've got all the info as well. And so it's really quite a valuable thing. But as you can see, if you look at the kidney meridian, how far it goes. So it goes all the way. Again, from here, I can't remember what that's called. And it goes all the way down and it goes into the pelvic cavity and then into the feet again. So it goes a long, long way. And we sort of don't realize until we learn about them how very valuable they are. And, you know, there's a reason, of course, why the Chinese have been doing acupuncture for thousands of years, because they get results.
Oh, without a doubt.
And what we've been finding with using either the quantum essences or the meridian, the essences on the Genius, is it really, really helps. So no matter what challenge you might have health-wise or emotionally wise or whatever, then it really can be very useful.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I think that answers the questions beyond expectation, Karen. It's fascinating. I love the meridians. I've known about the meridians for years, but I learn more and more and more every single time I do more of a study on them. There's so much to be known, to behold.
Yeah. Oh, before we finish, we mustn't forget this. And so basically I'm in the kidney meridian. You just click on there. Entangled insights. This is where you can really dive. So say, for example, if I was concerned that I had a virus that was affecting my meridian, doesn't mean to say I've got a virus within my meridian. It's in my field, as Stephanie said. You just click on there and then you can do a quick check. Now, when I do entangled insights, I tend to only look for 100% result.
Yeah.
So if it's lower than 100%, I don't tend to take much notice of it.
So while that's running, Karen, just remind us what does entangled insight mean?
Basically, what it's basically telling us is it's showing that potentially a virus, well, not so much here because it's 99%, but potentially a virus energy can be affecting that meridian. Or if you go into an organ, or if you go into an emotional state or whatever, you can find sort of root causes of things by delving into entangled
Beautiful.
insights.
Beautiful.
That's what it can be so simple, this, or it can be very complex depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to dive.
Yeah, exciting. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Karen. That's amazing. But guys, if you've got any further questions regarding the meridians, don't hesitate to put the questions down below in the comment section, and Karen or I, most likely Karen, will answer them for you.
Oh, not necessarily. You're really good at answering the questions, Steph. I don't always see them.
Okay, guys, keep the questions coming, because that's how we're going to build a library for you that is relevant for you. So just let us know what you need to know, and we will supply the answers for you.
Awesome,
Until next time,
awesome.
take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.